Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is August the 7th, 2019. Strong hand. Be a unique beast. Value your wealth in Bitcoin. Having hype, unconfiscatable. One Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. Offended by selling your home for Bitcoin insider information. No fancy sets or graphics. Authentic conviction. All right, people. Bitcoin first. And we're going to talk a lot about being a Bitcoin firster today. Hello, my elite friends. How are you? All right. This Friday, a very special This Week in Bitcoin is planned. A guest you haven't seen on the show for quite some time will be making a return. I will just leave it at that. There will only be one guest on Fridays This Week in Bitcoin show. So I'm excited about it. It should be a good time. So let's start off with a tweet from Whale Panda. He said, I bought 1,000 euros worth of gold 4 years ago. Ouch. Now it's worth 1,400 euro. Okay. If instead I would have bought 1,000 euro worth of Bitcoin with 4 years ago, it would now be worth 40,000 euro. I mean, you should talk to Peter Schiff about that maybe. I don't know. Pound that like button, people. All right. Yes. Bitcoin is living gold's dream, as we say here on this channel. We have a lot of sayings on this channel, don't we? Thank you, Jim, for the super chat yesterday, by the way. I hope everything is going well with Bit Piggies. All right, moving on, another tweet. Before we get to the meat of the discussion today, I gotta share, not another tweet, a story from Yahoo. Asia surprises with cuts in global rates to monetary global race to bottom. All right, I really butchered that, didn't I? Yeah, so there were there were surprise rate cuts, okay, in the monetary race to the bottom, apparently. New Zealand and India led with bigger than expected interest rate cuts, while Thailand had a 25 point reduction. And it was a surprise. And well, first of all, New Zealand isn't in Asia. I just wanted to point that out. But yeah, so Asia, India, New Zealand, their central banks cut rates. It was a little surprising. And there was some reaction in Bitcoin today. You might have noticed, you fiat freaks, it went up. So, and then it went down. But, you know, I anticipate a lot more central banks doing currency manipulation, because that's all they do anyway. It's centrally controlled money. I mean, what do you expect? It's like all of a sudden it's newsworthy because China, or United States has got a guy yelling about it. China did it very publicly. Yeah, there's always countries out there that are cutting rates. And we're getting into a trend now where all the countries are going to cut rates. Okay, great. New Zealand. I mean, it's not that I love you guys in New Zealand. I love you, Barry. You know, do what you're going to do. If it's going to FUD the market and lead people to the real asset, to the real world-changing invention, because Bitcoin is way beyond money. It's way beyond central bank paper money. It's so way beyond that. And of course, in times of uncertainty, people want to get their hands on something that is going to gain value, that is unique, that is new, that is an invention beyond our understanding, okay? And so I'm gonna let that be a segue again for the third night in a row here. I'm talking. So yeah, for you fiat freaks, yeah, maybe that's why it spiked today, because of all the. Yeah, expect more central banks with surprise announcements and more speculators jumping into Bitcoin because of that. Okay, great. If that's why they jump into Bitcoin, because New Zealand raises its rate, lowers its rate. Okay, yeah, do what you're gonna do. That's not the best reason to get into Bitcoin. The best reason to get into Bitcoin is because it is the security truth machine, okay? That is the invention. That is the invention right there. Dan Tapiero, who is a traditional finance guy, a gold guy, a macro guy. Just the third night in a row, I'll link to his video again. I watched parts of his video again today, and they are so inspirational. And just, he says Bitcoin is as big as electricity. And I got to say, in a sense, it is. It is a truth machine controlled by no one, all right? And that's security right there. And we've never had anything like this in the world. So that's how you can make the comparison to electricity. There was never anything like electricity in the world before they invented electricity, before electricity was invented. The world has always had to rely on a third-party validator that could lie. When we're searching for truth out there, people could write up books and they could lie in the books. I mean, he could be the most trustworthy leader in the history of mankind, but he could still lie. He was not a truth machine. He was a truth person, but people, third parties, have weaknesses. They can lie. They can make mistakes. They can be corrupted. How much would you pay to own a piece of this truth machine, okay? Of the security truth machine for the world. That's what Bitcoin is. It is the secure. How much would you pay to participate, to own a piece of it? That is a serious question. That is what we're figuring out right now. In history, the winners write history, right? The winners were always they were always biased, okay? They were always biased. They changed history, okay? They wrote their interpretation of what history was, and that became the truth. But it really wasn't the truth because a biased party wrote that truth. So it's an edited history, and Bitcoin is like a perfect recording machine, and its history cannot be changed, and it's not biased toward anyone. It's just the truth. It's just mathematics. And when you have this base layer, so much can be built on top of this truth that we've never had before. This truth machine, so much can be built on top. That's why this is so life-altering. So if you can explain it in these terms that I'm talking about, and watch his video again, and this will get people excited about Bitcoin, about this life-changing invention. It is an invention, okay? That we never had anything like this before. And you can see why some people become somewhat tribal when talking about Bitcoin, because they want the real truth and they don't want anyone changing the truth, okay? Or creating copies of the truth that they say are the truth, there are certain altcoins out there which have said, no, we are the real truth machine. And they all had centralized weaknesses. Again, some of the Bitcoin maximalists out there, they don't want anyone to edit history and the truth. They want the truth. It's a matter of truth. It's a matter of security to people. So you can see why people get defensive about it, okay? I don't encourage people to get defensive about it, but when you're putting it in terms of the world's truth machine, okay? The world's truth machine, you can see why people would get protective of it. When people are saying, no, I really have the world's truth machine, or your truth machine has some weakness, which is a lie, that people make up lies about Bitcoin. In today's postmodern world, people don't even know what truth is anymore. And they have little respect for the concept of truth. So this is why this is so revolutionary. This is truth. This is a truth machine right there. It's not Adam Meister speaking the truth. It is a machine that shows the history, the unaltered, the history that cannot change. That is the truth. That is what is being built on. And so there's huge incentives for participants in the system to keep the truth machine running, to play their part in the truth machine, and if someone tries to do something, for the participants to call out the person that is trying to be not so true there. And thus, since there is so much incentive to keep the truth machine running, there's a great incentive for it not to change. For it to keep running, it needs to be unchanged, because if it changes, the truth thus is not the truth anymore. It changes. So again, you see why so many people lash out when people are talking about question. Well, they could always change the amount of Bitcoin that are produced. No, you got to stick with it there. You got to stick with it. That then the truth would be changed, and that wouldn't be true. So here's the questions for altcoins out there. Now that we've defined Bitcoin as a truth machine, what are your inventions? Every altcoin it's not a truth machine invention. That's not what it is. That's not what they are. They all have weaknesses. It is not the best truth machine on the planet. They're semi-truth. That doesn't seem like a good. How much would you pay to own a sort of truth machine, to be part of a sort of truth? Now again, some of these altcoins might be totally different products, totally different inventions, and we can look at them that way. Okay, again, but I'm not interested in other products. Okay. Are they sustainable products? Ethereum says it's the world's supercomputer, and you could build ICOs on top of it. Well, can you build ICOs on top of the world truth machine? Yeah, you probably could. You probably could build a world computer on top of the world truth machine, couldn't you? On the world security truth machine, whatever you want to call it, which is Bitcoin. And again, we've seen Ethereum is not a truth machine, because they already went back in the days of the DAO. They went back and they changed the history, and that is why Bitcoiners were so outraged back then, because they believed in the truth machine, that you cannot change. If you change it, then it's no longer a truth machine, and there goes the value. Because again, the bottom line question we're asking here about Bitcoin, in terms of its value to people, how much will you pay to own a piece of the world truth machine? Okay, and people can grasp this concept. Non-financial people can grasp, non-technical people can grasp these concepts. So, and then when you start talking about altcoins, well, what the heck are they? What the heck are they? I mean, are they just digital forms of money? That seems kind of cool, but that's better maybe than paper money, maybe better than government issued digital money, maybe. But Bitcoin is so much more than that. It's so much, but many altcoins, that's all they are. And they're all going to have gimmicks that revolve around how they present these digital forms of money. And it is, I got all this stuff written down. We talked about the supercomputer. Okay. Yeah, I talked about the Bitcoin maximalist. Yeah. And again, all the altcoins that are trying to be truth machines all have centralized weaknesses that make us question their truth and security, whether they be founders. Again, and you can see the charts that have been made, how cheap it is to do 51% attacks on certain ones of them. What's the point? If you could do a 51% attack, then the truth is questioned. It's the security is not there. The security is very, very important when you're talking about truth. And there was something else with the an altcoin weakness that I wanted to bring up that's been brought in, the 51%. The charts that are out there, how many confirmations does it take for this altcoin to equal 6 Bitcoin confirmations? It's a lot. It's a lot. That's what it shows. That Bitcoin, again, is the top of the top right there. Okay. And then, again, 80%ers will still be very comfortable with nation states defining truth. And they won't care about the decentralized truth machine at all, okay? And that's there, okay? They can ignore that. It's their choice. Personal responsibility is new counterculture. They don't have to participate in this valuable machine, okay? It's a very valuable exercise. It's a very valuable machine to be a part, but they don't have to be a part of it. They don't have to care about truth and security at all. They don't, but there are a lot of people, and there are going to be a lot of businesses that are going to want to build on top of this secure truth machine, okay? On the security truth machine. And if you want to talk about your altcoins and whatever gimmicks they are and whatever product they are, I mean, they might do things, but they're not a truth machine. They're not a truth machine. They might be a machine that hides your identity or something like that. That gives you somewhat sort of privacy. I'm trying to describe what a privacy coin is, but they're not this. I mean, the world has been searching forever for a truth machine, for a decentralized security truth machine, and that is what this invention is. And it's like electricity. This is a complete. And again, altcoins are inventions unto themselves, but they're lesser and they're different types of inventions. And again, this is the base for Bitcoin maximalism. The Bitcoin is something that is totally different than all of these other, because they just tried, so many of the altcoins out there just try to copy Bitcoin on the money layer, that it's got value because it's a security machine. It's a security truth machine. And the amazing thing about it is that you get to own a piece of the security truth machine. That little piece that you own of this machine, we interpret as money because it has value. To be a part of this truth, this great invention, yeah, it has value. So that is the money aspect of Bitcoin, but the money aspect of the altcoins, what's it based on? It's based on blockchain. But I mean, these are blockchains that are centralized, that have weak points, that have leaders. All right, so crypto dividends, how they fit into all of this, okay? They are lesser and different inventions given out as free samples to participants in the Bitcoin security truth machine, okay? That is what, and that it would be great if all altcoins went that way. All these different inventions, because they are totally different inventions, to give out free samples to people who participate and own parts of the Bitcoin security truth machine, okay? Because they are just totally, and then for some reason, people put value in these different inventions and are willing to give up Bitcoin for these lesser / different inventions that are being given away for free for the people who own pieces of the ultimate invention, which is Bitcoin, okay? So there's your explanation of what crypto dividends are under this invention paradigm that we're exploring here, this truth machine invention. All right, I'll leave it at that. You guys can carry on and expand upon this description of Bitcoin as that Dan Tapiero came up with, the security truth machine. I think it is very inspirational. It is a great way of thinking about what we are participating in, and that it is a completely new invention that the world has been waiting for quite some time. And it's early. So many people don't realize what it is yet. So that means it's still plenty early. And so many people are going to want to build things on top of this secure layer, this truth. All right. So from the what will they pound that like button, people. From the what will they come up with next category, because people came up with this ICO thing, and Lawmaster has a tweet thread out there. It's now obvious that ICOs were a massive bubble that's unlikely to ever see a recovery. The median ICO return in terms of US dollars, not in terms of Bitcoin, is negative 87% and constantly dropping. Let's look at some data. So my question is, we went through this ICO process. ICOs clearly were not Bitcoin, but someone else is going to come up with another trend that isn't Bitcoin, that has something to do with blockchain and altcoins and whatever the trendy word of the week is, and there'll be something just as wild, a wild craze into the next thing. So what will they come up with next, and what will they build it on? What altcoin will be the flavor of the month? What term will be the buzzword of the month? Only time will tell. You want to have a strong hand with the truth machine, though, baby. Okay, because the other things are fleeting. They come and go. Flavors of the month. I do want to say something though. If you're going to come up with these new inventions, okay, and again, just straight up say they're not the truth machine, okay? There's some other invention. I mean, and that's the thing about compete, don't complain. I love that people are coming up with all sorts of different types of inventions. Let them come up with all sorts of different types of inventions, and maybe some of these inventions will find a purpose. They won't be as valuable as the worldwide security truth machine. They just won't be as. What could beat that? What could be more valuable than that? What we've been searching for so long. So I do know there will be more crypto dividends. I'm going to leave it at that. Someone has been in touch with me in 2020. He's got a gimmick. It's an invention that does. It's a technical gimmick. It does something different than the other ones out there. Okay, good. Compete. Give it away for free. You can bookmark this video, people, and then when it's announced on this show in the future what this dude is doing. And how it's going to be a fork, and so you'll just be able to get your crypto dividend that traditional way. He's going to give out a free sample of his invention to all of us holders of Bitcoin, that's great. And then people will give Bitcoin to us for this free sample that we have of this new product. Awesome, great. But yeah, for those of you who say that the crypto dividend thing isn't going to continue, it's continuing. It's continuing, and we'll hear more in we'll hear probably more in 2019 about people are going to keep on coming up with these products that can be these inventions that can be distributed to Bitcoin holders. Why not? Why not do it? It's unique. It's great. All right. I mean, again, I'm not saying to buy them. I'm saying if people want to give me free samples, I always like to get free samples when I used to go to the Giant. The Giant is the supermarket. They used to give free samples of the Giant, the supermarket in Baltimore area, the Maryland. And I used to love the free samples as a kid. Of course, I wouldn't eat them now. They were bread and donuts and all that stuff. But yeah, who doesn't like free samples? If someone would have given me money for the free sample, that would have been great. What a world we live in today. People give us free samples of inventions, and then people give us Bitcoin for it. Pound that like button. I love it. Better than going to the Giant. Oh, man, I haven't thought about that stuff for a while. Big smile. All right. Bitcoin Benny has or BTC Sessions, as he's known as. He's got a tweet out there, and he linked to his. I linked to it below. Okay, to his blog. Someone tried to scam him. Okay, over I forgot how they contacted him over Instagram, and they were so scammy, putting this pressure on him, like, hey, you give us 2 Bitcoin, we'll get you 4 Bitcoin type of deal. And it just shows you that people fall for this. And he recorded the entire thing, and he scammed the scammer. Now again, it's entertainment, and he gave away. When he scammed the scammer, he got the scammer to send him Bitcoin. He gave the Bitcoin away to charity, BTC Benny. That was nice of him. But I want people to read this stuff just to understand that there are so many people out there, and that people that are scamming aggressively. And this is not an abuse of the word scam. Okay, this is a total liar who was trying to steal Bitcoin. And I don't know how he got BTC Benny's name, but be careful out there. You're probably gonna say, well, how could anyone fall for this? No, people do fall for this. But BTC Benny taught him a lesson. Unfortunately, the person will probably come out ahead because he'll steal money from other people. That's just the way. You got to control your own private key. If something sounds too good to be true, it is too good to be true. If someone says, hey, you never give up possession of your Bitcoin to someone that's going to tell you something that's too good to be true. That's insane. That's insane. I'm going to give you interest on this. No, just control your private key, get some crypto dividends, and that's your interest right there, okay? As long as you're in control of your Bitcoin, again, keep it on your Trezor. Understand what that means to control your private key. We've gone through it many times on this channel. Don't leave it on an exchange or anything. Your Bitcoin is great. Be your own bank. That's the whole lesson here. Control your piece of this amazing invention. Why would you risk giving away your piece of this amazing invention? And what do we have here? Finally, a tweet This is good. So Binance, we knew that they lost some data, and now it's apparent they lost a lot of people's personal KYC information data, okay? People holding up their passports or their IDs, saying the date, Binance here, this is who I am, I'm Adam Meister. Well, there is a hilarious fake Binance customer KYC photo. And it's linked to below. Click on it. You will get a big laugh out of the person they said, and again, it's fake, but it's hilarious. The person that appears to have given out their KYC information and their passport picture in order to buy Bitcoin from Binance. But you'll get the joke when you see it. All right, people, that is it. I am Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. There's a new show here every day. Fridays This Week in Bitcoin. Legendary guests coming back on the show. Pound that like button, bang that bell button, subscribe to the channel, click on all those squares. Get these the squares that you see to see my old shows. They've been on fire lately. Follow me on Twitter, of course, TECHBLT. You can get shirts like this linked to below. And I will say hi to you dudes in the chat. Bye-bye.